Hello, my name's Professor Jane Reeves and I'm Director of the Centre for Child Protection at the University of Kent. And what I'd like to do over the next couple of minutes is just add information for our bid to the End Violence Against Children call this January. I'd like to start off by giving you some idea about the theories we use behind the centre. So we're an international centre and we have a distance learning MA, but we also design tools and simulations for use by professionals with children and young people. And the theory that informs our work is really important. And the first theory that informs our work is systems theory, and that's how we see the child. So we see the child within the context of their families, which is the micro, their communities, which is the meso, and wider policy and legal frameworks, which is the macro. And alongside that, in terms of the meso, we use the theory of contextual safeguarding, again to inform us about how we should see and work with vulnerable children who may be being exploited or who may be being trafficked. And that's really to see the child within their family, but also in terms of the experiences they have beyond their families, with their friends within a community, and also the people they meet within the community, but also who they meet online. And this, for many children and young people, is an incredibly dangerous place and where they can be incredibly vulnerable. So they're vulnerable within their families to abuse, they're vulnerable within their communities to abuse, and they're also very vulnerable online to abuse. So what we're proposing to do for this End Violence Against Children bid is to work with an interprofessional and multidisciplinary team. The team is incredibly strong. The country of origin that we've chosen is Thailand, which is a destination country for children who are trafficked and exploited, but also has a large population within it who are also vulnerable to online child sexual exploitation and abuse. So we have teamed up with ECPAT, and ECPAT are an organisation who are experts on trafficking and forms of online sexual abuse. And they commission research, but they also have a huge wide network of people and experts within Thailand, but also across the globe. And we will be able to draw on that expertise. We're also going to work with the A21 Foundation. They also work in Thailand and have people on the ground who will work with us to roll this project out. We also have two external advisors, Professor David Shemmings, who is an expert on trauma. Trauma provides a framework for looking at solutions to online child sexual exploitation and abuse, because many of the children who are abused are very vulnerable themselves, may well have been abused within their families, and the consequence of online child sexual exploitation and abuse is also very much associated with trauma. The second expert is Dr. Paul Rigby, and he works at the University of Stirling, and he has done a great deal of work on trafficking across countries. We also work with a top gaming company called Player 3, and Player 3 provide the technical solution, if you like, or technical framework to the online digital resource that we will be developing, and I will be talking about in a minute. Myself and the International Centre for Child Protection are experts at designing tools to work with professionals and children and young people on very difficult and complex child protection issues. And again, in a minute, I will talk about the kinds of solutions that we've already developed. Our approach, we very much believe, meets criteria 4 of your bid, but we also feel that we are aligned to all of your criteria. So in short, we have a really robust team who know each other and who are really excited to work on this project. So taking a slight step back, on the application form and the expression of interest, there wasn't a huge amount of space to be able to describe what our solution is. And I just wanted to spend the next couple of slides just going over what that solution is. And what we do is we have taken educational theory of Vygotsky to look at how people learn best and how children and young people learn best. And we've married that up with our knowledge and expertise on child protection. So what we do is we have used techniques from games and gaming in terms of creating an immersive environment. So we frame a topic like, for example, child sexual exploitation in one of our simulations that we've already developed called Lottie, and we create a story. We have characters and we have designed online mock social media. And through the young person going through this simulation, this game, this digital resource, they have to make choices and decisions, and they can see how the character is reacting to certain situations. For example, in Lottie, Lottie is groomed by Jack, and we are able to look at her social media pages, we're able to look at her phone conversations, and not only is this in a format and medium that children and young people like because they're used to it in terms of social media, but also it's very immersive and engaging, and they can at points make decisions, they can have discussions, they can use emojis, and they can type in short answers. And these approaches have been shown in our research of our own work and by Reeves and Crowther in 2019 to develop skills of critical evaluation and critical analysis in children and young people. So it creates awareness of an issue, but it also develops those skills of critical analysis. This slide just goes over some of the research that informs the background and framework to what we do. So research on digital serious games has been around for a long time, and it tells us that these tools are engaging. They form communities of discussion, groups, where you're able to discuss some of the issues raised in the simulations and digital games. And they allow us to tackle really complex child protection issues like trafficking, like sexual exploitation, in a safe space. So they're a safe space mediated by professionals. So part of the bid will be to train professionals in the area, on the ground, to use this with children and young people. They're learner-led, so the child or group of children will go through it at a pace that's suitable for them. It will be culturally sensitive, and it will very much be based upon the issues in Thailand. And to do that, we need to work with organisations like ECPAT and the A21 Foundation, who know the issues embedded in their area. It also enables mentoring to happen. So we're very much in favour of child mentors, so children and young people helping each other go through the digital resource. We've developed several serious digital games since 2012 when the International Centre was set up. Some are for professionals, Rosie 1, Rosie 2 and My Courtroom. They're three of a series of serious games for professionals looking at sexual abuse, complexity and neglect and the court system within the UK. ZAC is a serious game simulation on radicalisation, and that was developed with Kent Police and also Special Branch, and that looks at grooming for radicalisation. Looking out for Lottie, I've already mentioned, is on CSE, and that's perhaps the closest simulation to the one we would think about developing for this bid. Mariam and Joe is our most recent one, and that was built jointly with the Home Office. Visiting Elliot is about managing a sex offender in the community, and that is used as part of teaching and learning within the university. We're used to working with external stakeholders, and we are used to drawing on their knowledge in order to create a really robust simulation or digital resource that enables it to be technically robust, but also very immersive for the professional and child and young person. So finally, I'd just like to go through how I think our bid meets the eligibility criteria. We are presenting a modern, innovative solution to online child sexual exploitation and abuse, and we're using technology and educational techniques and theories that we've used before and are rolled out across the UK. Professionals like using our resources. They're innovative, they're different, and they're very attractive to children and young people. I've embedded in the bid some links which will take you through directly to some of the simulations we've already developed. We've got a very strong team. It's a combination of academics, international global experts on the issues, and organisations that have links within the local community in Thailand that we want to target. We also work with a gaming company who design games for the Disney Corporation, and their CV speaks for itself. We have a reasonable budget which is shared amongst across the team, and everything we do is informed by theory. So, as I said at the start, we use systems theory to explain how we think about the child. We use contextual safeguarding to inform us about the child within its community, and that can be an online community. And we're also very experienced at using the theory of change, which enables us to match research themes, strong research themes in this area, and to be able to look at how that will match against outcomes that our game, our digital resource, will produce. So if we are invited through to the next phase of the funding, the theory of change is something that we will very much work on. Thank you very much.